Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Boom! The stone pillar beneath which Angus was standing suddenly exploded. Ice-covered vines rushed out and surrounded him. Angus' expression changed, and he jumped down from the stone pillar. Burst! Lin You shouted, and the vines surrounding him suddenly exploded, shooting out large spikes. The power of rules and level 10 equipment are powers that only level 10 experts can control. Even the powerful Angus was caught off guard by this sudden change, and was frozen into an ice sculpture by the ice breath attached to the spikes. Just then, sparks exploded. The cannon that had been waiting for a long time finally took action, and suddenly fired a bullet surrounded by dragon flames. Ling Shi, who was next to him, raised his staff high, and the leaves all over the sky turned into sharp arrows, and shot out quickly, flying into the air. Puff! Several attacks penetrated the ice, passed through Angus' body, and exploded into a patch of elemental light. Success! Lin Yu's eyes narrowed and he looked at the figure that was blown away. But the next second, his expression changed. Angus, whose body was penetrated, only flew upside down for a few meters before breaking through the ice and stabilizing himself in the midst of a hurricane. On the chest, there was a depression the size of a fist, and a pea bullet, whose flames were extinguished. The deadly sniper attack from the cannon was actually blocked, and he resisted it from the front. This moment, Lin You was completely shocked. The opponent's strength is much stronger than he imagined. Is this the strength of the 9th level first person? You're great. It's been a long time since anyone could hurt me like this. Angus stood in the air, quietly watching Lin You below. Although they were just calm words, Lin You could feel a real murderous intention. Not good. His expression changed, and he stormed out without even thinking. Whoosh! A sharp wind blade suddenly appeared, passing close to his body, and with a tearing sound, it directly cut open the space in front of him, forming a small void of destruction. Just as a few proliferating units on the edge tried to get out of the way, they were swallowed up by the cracks, and swept into the void. Then the crack closed instantly, as if it had never appeared. What a powerful attack! Lin You was shocked. The opponent's attack was so powerful that it could crush the void. Although it was only a brief moment, it shocked him. Looking at the space crack in the open space before, it has long since disappeared. I am afraid it was also the work of the other party. No wonder it appeared in this place by such a coincidence. It turned out that this guy made it here to lure other lords. Anyway, the goal has been achieved, and there is no need for him to continue fighting. Everyone come back. Seeing the wind element next to the opponent taking action again, terrifying wind blades cut through the air and shot towards him. Lin You didn't hesitate anymore and immediately recalled his troops to initiate random teleportation. Aha! When the light came on, his entire body disappeared instantly. Those wind blades flew into the air and sank straight into the ground, exploding into a large piece of rubble. Teleportation ability. Angus landed slowly and looked at the place where Lin You disappeared in surprise. Other than that, no emotion was shown. Hundreds of years of experience have already tempered him with a calm heart. After just sensing Lin Yu's traces for a while, a whisper came out. Interesting. It looks like the days to come will be even more exciting. As soon as he finished speaking, he turned over and jumped onto the wind element, flying back towards the war zone. A brief battle finally came to an end, and at this time, on the other side of the battlefield, Lin You, who left through random teleportation with his ability, finally passed through the space and appeared in a crowded area. Ha! Are you so lucky? Looking at the lively scene around him, Lin You couldn't help but be a little surprised. Unexpectedly, he was so lucky that he was teleported directly back to the war zone. God indeed favored him. But why did the aura of these people seem to be different from what he saw this morning? Suddenly, Lin You was stunned. He stared blankly at the lords coming and going. The lords also noticed him, stopped and looked at him. The two sides looked at each other, and then their expressions suddenly changed. There's a spy. This man is a spy. Kill him quickly. Shouts of surprise suddenly sounded in the war zone. Lin You reacted and finally knew where he was teleported. This is not their anti-alliance camp, but the base camp of the Realm Alliance. Grass. After uttering a curse word, Lin You turned around and ran away. The lords of the Realm Alliance summoned their troops one after another and quickly surrounded him. Where is it? Where is the spy? How brave you are to sneak in here. Chase me. In the blink of an eye, the entire Realm Alliance headquarters was in chaos, with constant cries. A large number of 9th level lords came from all directions, and summoned troops to surround Lin You. Lin You didn't dare to think too much, so he directly activated his mirage skill, creating two phantoms similar to his own, and fled in 3 directions to distract the opponent's firepower. Fortunately, the city gate was very close to where he teleported. Seeing that a large number of soldiers were rushing towards him, and were about to block his way, he didn't care about them. He immediately activated his void skills, and disappeared in an instant. No, He has the ability to sneak. What a cunning spy. Quick, range attack, knock him out. The Lords of the Realm Alliance shouted loudly, lighting up range attacks one by one, and carpet-bombed Lin Yu's direction and exits. Lin Yu, who had just arrived at the exit, couldn't avoid it and was hit immediately. He broke out of stealth, in advance and gradually emerged from the void. Where is he? Hurry up! The soldiers behind him were in hot pursuit, activating their acceleration skills one by one and quickly surrounding them. Even outside the exit, a large number of lords appeared, blocking Lin Yu's way. In an instant, countless attacks rose up, roaring like a tide. If he was hit, he would probably die, or be disabled. Lin Yu's eyes were as bright as fire. The forest sage appeared beside him, and the peaceful domain was activated directly. Buzz! A circle of twisted waves spread out, instantly clearing away the attacks that were about to fall. Taking advantage of this gap, Lin Yu took back the forest sage, activated the swift shadow skill, and turned into a sharp arrow to rush out of the siege and rush outside the city wall. Damn it! Let him get away! Hurry up! The Lords of the Realm Alliance reacted and chased out with an angry shout. There were countless flying units in the sky, cutting off the possibility of Lin Yu riding a flying mount to escape. Still chasing, Lin Yu, who was running, looked back at the dark army behind him, and his brows gradually furrowed. If this continues, when the power of his rules is exhausted, he will be caught up sooner or later. When the time comes, it will be difficult to escape when faced with the siege of so many lords. No, gotta find a way. Anxiously, Lin Yu couldn't help but look around. Soon, he discovered an area 2 kilometers away that was shrouded in wind and sand, and his eyes suddenly brightened. Lingxi! With a loud shout, Lingxi was summoned to his side. There is no need to say anything at all. As soon as he appeared, the power of nature immediately exploded, and the flower wand in his hand pointed forward. The originally empty ground suddenly bloomed into a violet garden, blocking the path of the Realm Alliance team. The effect of the 9th level violet wand is no longer what it used to be. As soon as those soldiers rushed into the garden, plants with exactly the same attributes as their own appeared immediately, and launched a fierce attack on them. Seeing this, the lord in the rear had to order his troops to bypass the garden, giving Lin Yu a chance to escape. In this way, while chasing and escaping, Lin Yu soon arrived at the windy and sandy area. Seeing the wind and sand in front of him that was so thick that it almost obscured his vision, he felt cruel and plunged straight in, disappearing in the blink of an eye. What to do? He ran inside. Chase! It's just ordinary wind and sand. It will disperse soon. I don't think he can go anywhere. Yes, we must not let the spy on the other side escape. The pursuing Realm Alliance lords only hesitated for a moment, and many people rushed into the wind and sand to continue the pursuit. And just then, over the distant city wall, several figures appeared out of thin air, watching the commotion below. It seems that a spy from the other side sneaked in and was discovered. One of the 10th level lords whispered, "It seems that they specifically chose to act when we were not around." Another person followed closely. "Do you want to solve it?" Several people couldn't help but look at the King of Paradise in the middle. "No need." King Bliss shook his head, with a very interested expression. "It's just a 9th level. We just need to change our plan, so let's let the people below make trouble. It will be beneficial to us to spread the news to the other side." Lin Yu didn't know. His unintentional mistake made the other party mistakenly think that he was a spy who came to inquire for information, and he escaped from danger. At this time, he had already penetrated deep into the sandy area. There was a strong wind all around, blowing sand all over the sky, and you could only see 10 meters away. Faintly, he could still hear the calls of the Realm Alliance approaching, chasing after him. Originally, Lin Yu planned to take this opportunity to hide and escape after the random teleportation ability was restored, but after seeing the wind and sand blowing around him, a bold idea suddenly came to his mind. After thinking about it, he summoned the chasing soul and all the dandelions. "The rest will depend on your performance." Lin Yu said something to Chaihan, then glanced at the figure flashing behind him, and a sneer gradually appeared on the corner of his mouth. It's time for hunters and prey to be swapped. And at this time, some of the Realm Alliance lords who were chasing after them had also penetrated deep into the windy sand area and spread to all directions, looking for traces of Lin Yu. Strange, why are there so many dandelions here? Suddenly, one of the lords looked around and saw that at some point, a large number of dandelion seeds began to be carried in the sweeping wind and sand. After only walking for a while, a large number of seeds were already attached to them, and the soldiers. "It's like it has taken root and cannot be shaken off." Ahem, what the hell is this place? Ahem. Several lords accidentally inhaled sand and dandelions into their bodies, coughing violently and cursing angrily. The appearance of dandelion immediately caused chaos among the Realm Alliance lords in the entire sandstorm area. And those dandelions, relying on the power of the wind, were flying all over the sky, so fast that there was no time to avoid them. Soon, someone reacted and their expressions suddenly changed. No, it's a plant attack, everyone. Be careful. Get out, ah. In the blink of an eye, screams were heard everywhere. Those lords who accidentally inhaled the dandelions had just taken a few steps back when their throats, chests, and abdomens swelled rapidly, and a cloud of blood mist exploded like an alien body. They fell to the ground with eyes wide open. Immediately afterwards, clusters of dandelions sucked their blood, bloomed again, and flew into the air along with the wind and sand. The originally dim yellow sand was finally dyed red, as if red clouds were falling. All the lords looked at the horrific scene in horror. Before they could react, more and more dandelions were attached to them, and the soldiers, damn it, whoever has fire-type troops, should burn these dandelions. No, the wind is too strong, it won't burn at all. Retreat first. The entire sandstorm area was in chaos, and all the troops retreated hurriedly, especially those lords who saw their companions being exploded to death covered their mouths and noses in horror, threw away the dandelions on their bodies, and fled in a hurry. But at this moment, a low shout that sounded like it came from the nine nether hells suddenly sounded. Then, they saw a scene they would never forget in their lives. Boom, ah. All the dandelions within the wind and sand exploded, accompanied by a series of shrill screams. Those lords and soldiers who had no time to defend themselves were instantly killed on the spot and fell to the ground. Even those who activated life-saving and damage-reducing skills were seriously injured and nearly died because of too many dandelions attached to their bodies. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, and obtain 200 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level Territory Essence X1. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, and obtain 600 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level Territory Essence X1. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, and obtain 400 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level Territory Essence X1. Listening to the reminders that kept ringing in his mind, Lin You smiled crookedly. The spreading ability of this windy sand area combined with the adhesion ability of the dandelion troops is a perfect match. This was definitely his biggest gain on the battlefield so far, and it was unimaginable. However, it would not take long for him to be happy. He found that the wind and sand around him gradually slowed down, and there were faint signs of dissipating. The wind direction was actually disrupted by the explosion just now, and just then, a feeling that made his heart palpitate suddenly swept over him, making him feel like he had fallen into an ice cave. He is the commander-in-chief of the Realm Alliance. Lin Yu was shocked and wanted to teleport away. Unexpectedly, the space around him suddenly tore open, and an invisible hand appeared out of thin air and grabbed his shoulder. "Bye, let's go." Before he could react, his entire body was pulled into the void and disappeared in the blink of an eye. The wind and sand that originally filled the sky finally lost their support and gradually dissipated. Only corpses on the ground and the earth dyed red were left. Immediately afterwards, the King of Bliss and several other 10th levels appeared out of thin air, with solemn expressions on their faces. The aura just now must be from Yefeng. I didn't expect that he would actually save people. "What should we do with these corpses?" asked someone on the side. "Just deal with it casually. It's not harmful at this level." The King of Paradise looked deeply and silently stared at the position where Lin Yu was standing for a while, then disappeared directly in a flash. A 9th level lord may be very valuable to a realm, but once this scope spreads to the entire world, it will only be a drop in the bucket, and people at their level will not take it seriously at all. After a few die, just spend some resources on cultivating them. Only by condensing the divine power and reaching the 10th level or above can one escape from the category of cannon fodder and truly control one's own destiny. This world that is like raising goo is so cruel. Anti-alliance camp. Around the kill list in the center of the war zone, lords from all walks of life gathered around the list as usual, happily talking about the names on the list. And just then, the top 100 names on the list suddenly jumped, and the original position of 49th was directly replaced by a new name. Number 49, Hidden, Primitive World, 28,670. This change immediately stunned the discussing lords, and then immediately caused an uproar. What's going on? Why were the 49 people suddenly pushed down? Not just 49th, everyone behind has dropped one place in their rankings. Damn it, who is so fierce? Just rush into the top 50 from 1,000 places away. 28,000 combat power. Killed 70 people. Is there such a person in the primitive world? So strong. The lords screamed in shock. They were all attracted by the sudden change in rankings and were shocked to know. After the changes in the past few days, the ranking on the list has basically stabilized. The top 100, and even the top 500, all have a combat strength of over 30,000. Even if there are between 500 and 1,000 people, There are rarely those with a combat strength of less than 30,000. Now one suddenly appears, and suddenly jumps into the top 50. Can they not be shocked? After all, the number of kills here does not represent cats and dogs, but represents 9th level lords like them. The most important is, originally, among all the realms, its comprehensive strength was not ranked high at all. Some lords had even heard of this realm for the first time. Immediately, there were lords who were good friends with the primitive world, and went to the primitive world station to inquire about the situation. What did you say? People from our realm have reached the top 50 on the kill list. The primitive realm lord, who was busy at the station, was also shocked by the news. He quickly clicked on the 9th level list of the realm, and searched carefully based on the information those people said. Then I discovered that it turned out to be from a little-known principality, and the name was hidden. With the resources of a small principality, reaching the forefront of the world is something they would never dare to imagine. Even the other 9th level lords in the primitive world were shocked by the news. They were talking about it in the station and looking for information everywhere. In the crowd, two figures looked at each other with suspicious expressions. Situ, you think this person is Lin You, right? I think it's very possible, because he is also from the Great Wilderness Principality. These two people were Yanlai and Situ Jian, who had just reached the 9th level, and were transported to the advanced battlefield. Unexpectedly, they heard news about Lin You as soon as they arrived here, which shocked them all. That guy has only been here for less than half a month, and is already doing so much. Could he have stabbed the Realm Alliance's lair? Yanlai looked like he had seen a ghost. Don't tell me, it's really possible. Situ Jian smiled bitterly. Don't look at him. He is usually very cautious in doing things. Sometimes he gets crazy and is even bolder than you. Then we have to work harder to avoid being thrown away by that guy. I think so. After that, the two of them left the station, and rushed outside the battlefield without stopping. Lin You didn't know what happens in the advanced war zone. At this time, he had arrived at the rear of the war zone, inside a huge camp. As soon as he stood still, he saw a familiar figure standing in front of him. It was the commander of the war zone, King Yufeng. Thank you, Commander, for saving your life. After reacting, Lin You didn't know that it was King Yufeng who saved him, so he quickly handed over his hand and thanked him. Excuse me. King Yufeng waved his hand. You are quite brave. You dare to go to the Realm Alliance alone. Don't you want to live? Although he said so, he looked at Lin You with admiration in his eyes. Well, it was just an accident, Lin You said awkwardly. At the same time, he raised his head and looked around curiously, and found that he was outside a huge tent used for discussions. The entire camp was very luxuriously decorated, made of some unknown precious materials, and was wrapped in a semicircular light mask that looked like a soundproof array. Through the gap, you can vaguely see a long square table placed inside, and steaming tea on the table. It made him wonder, are you preparing to meet someone? The emperors responsible for supervising this war zone will be coming soon. Since you are here, please wait with me. As if sensing his doubts, the wind-controlling king said softly, how many emperors are coming? Lin You was shocked in his heart. If an emperor from another realm saw him, he would definitely feel the aura of the fragments of his godhead on his body. He will be in danger then. Even if the emperor doesn't care about his godhead, when he tells the people below, there will definitely be many 10th level powerhouses eyeing him. If you dare to think too much, you just want to find a reason to leave this place of right and wrong. But at this moment, hundreds of 10th level kings appeared with groups of 9th level lords, rushing in from outside the camp and interrupting his words. Lin You, as luck would have it, a surprised cry rang out. Among those kings, Ji Xing was among them, with a look of surprise on his face. What, do you know each other? King Yufeng looked at Ji Xing, who was coming. Yes, Lin You is from my principality, Ji Xing replied quickly. King Yufeng looked surprised when he heard this and took a deep look at Lin You. Since we are from your principality, let's stay and wait together. The emperors should be arriving soon. As if in response to his words, in the wide open space of the camp, there was a sudden space distortion. Several stalwart figures appeared out of thin air, accompanied by a vast aura that spread suddenly. Great Emperor Evrion's hearts trembled, and they quickly followed the Wind Control King to greet him. Lin You had no choice but to bite the bullet and follow, quietly hiding among the crowd, secretly praying that the emperor would not notice him. A little person. Today's situation. In the entire world, 30% have joined the Realm Alliance, and 60% have formed an anti-alliance camp. Half of the remaining 10% is the realm that has been destroyed, and the other half is neutral, and will not help either side. The anti-alliance camp, led by the 10 major realms and several top realms, is dispersed into the 10 realm battlefields. The primeval realm is one of hundreds of realms responsible for one of these battlefields. This is the current overall situation. It is said that the lords of the 10th level and above have penetrated deeply into the realm alliance and restrained most of their senior officials. Each battlefield is guarded by representatives from each realm to avoid accidents. But Lin You didn't expect that even an emperor-level existence would appear. In the blink of an eye, several great emperors appeared in the open space of the camp. He was accompanied by more than 20 11th level lords, all from various realms, and they should be the representatives arranged by the above to coordinate the battlefield. Welcome to you, all, great emperors. King Yufeng took the lead in shouting loudly and rushed forward quickly. The people behind him reacted and greeted him loudly. Lin You hid in the crowd behind Jizing, lowering his body as low as possible, trying hard to control his aura, for fear of being suddenly noticed by some great emperor. Fortunately, probably because there were too many 10th level people present, the emperors just glanced at them casually and didn't pay much attention to these 9th level ants. Let's go in first and talk later. With that said, he walked directly into the meeting tent. King Yufeng and the 11th level representatives followed closely behind and also walked into the camp. Lin You, I'm going in too, so be careful. I've received news that a general attack may be launched on the battlefields of the 10 major realms soon. You'd better make more preparations. Before leaving, Jizing turned around and confessed to Lin You. Lin You was shocked when he heard this and said quickly, okay, I will. Thank you, King, for reminding me. Well, work hard. This may not be a good opportunity for you. With your talent, you should be able to reach my level soon. Jizing patted Lin Yu's shoulder intentionally and looked at him with a meaningful look. Then he withdrew his gaze, turned around and followed the other kings into the tent. In the blink of an eye, only the 9th level lords from all walks of life were left outside the camp. Based on their level, they are not qualified to sit at the same table with the emperors, so they can only wait outside. Lin You, who breathed a sigh of relief, naturally did not dare to stay any longer and secretly left the camp and rushed outside. The 10 major battlefields are about to launch a general offensive. This is great news. Since all representatives from all walks of life have arrived, he must improve his strength as much as possible in these 2 days. After thinking about it, he opened the resource interface. Various emergencies had been happening just now, so that he didn't even have time to see how many enemies he had killed in the Realm Alliance before. Now that I have escaped successfully, I can finally check. As soon as he took a look, he was severely startled, and his eyes suddenly opened wide. 9.8 billion, a total of 9.8 billion magic energy, excluding the remaining 2 billion before him. That is, he has obtained a total of nearly 8 billion magic energy this time. Surprised, he quickly scrolled down and found the battlefield merits, which also jumped to 710 points. That is, he killed 46 lords of the Realm Alliance. Unexpectedly, the dandelion exploded so violently and killed so many people at once. Sure enough, the battlefield is the best place to make money. If it were in peacetime, he would never dare to think of so many resources. However, he also knew that he had reached such an exaggerated point, this time through environmental factors and some luck. I'm afraid it's unlikely to happen again. Another thing that is a pity is that the realm alliances he has eliminated generally do not have much magic power. It seems that they know the dangers of the battlefield and have deposited their funds in the affiliated territories. It seems that, when he goes back this time, he will deposit all the money in Huangsha City. If something happens to him one day, he won't be able to benefit the enemy in vain, and he can still leave a way out for Huangsha City. Think of this. Lin You speeded up and soon arrived at the primitive world station. It was just afternoon. Many lords had already gone out to the battlefield to participate in the battle, so he easily came to the resident crystal and clicked on the exchange interface. Lin Yu's goal this time is very clear. Just exchange for the Orb of Faith, because now he only needs the power of faith to upgrade to the 10th level, and he also needs faith to condense his godhead. Without any hesitation, he immediately clicked on the props interface and exchanged all his merits for Orbs of Faith. The price of a high-level faith orb is 10 million mana and 10 points of merit. All his meritorious deeds are just enough to exchange for 71 orbs, which is a total of 70,000 beliefs, which should be enough to increase his combat power a lot. After spending 700 million mana to exchange the items, Lin You turned around and left, riding the cross-border teleportation array back to his territory. But he didn't know. Not long after he left, Angus appeared in the air riding the wind element, flew over the city wall, and flew back to the war zone. Look, it's Angus from the Yuan Zun realm. The appearance of Angus can be said to have stirred up 1,000 waves with one stone. As the first person in the 9th level of the world, and the strongest person in the battlefield kill list, naturally few people don't know him. As soon as it landed, it caused a large number of people to exclaim and stop to watch from a distance. But immediately, some lords noticed with sharp eyes the dent on Angus' chest and the damage to the golden armor, and their expressions changed. What's going on? He seems to be injured, really hurt. Who is so strong that can hurt him? In the entire world, there shouldn't be any 9th level opponent who can be his opponent, right? Is it the 10th level? Impossible. How can it be so simple when you encounter the 10th level? The lords were talking a lot, their faces full of shock. To know, Angus is known as the person closest to the 10th level. Many people even speculated that his strength has reached the point where he can kill 10th level monsters, but he just deliberately did not reach the 10th level. With such strength, he still suffered such obvious injuries, and it might have been done by a 9th level lord. You can imagine how shocked they were. But due to Angus' power, no one dared to speak loudly. They all just whispered in private. It wasn't until Angus walked away that they finally dared to let go. This news was like a hurricane, sweeping across the entire high-level battlefield in an instant, causing an uproar the other side. Lin You, who returned to his territory, quickly came to the world tree and took out the orb of faith he had just obtained. Would you like to use orb of faith? Advanced? Use them all. As the voice fell, the orbs turned into streams of light and merged into the world tree. Then, a majestic force poured into Lin Yu's body, continuously strengthening his limbs and bones, feeling that his strength had increased by nearly 20%. Click on the realm rankings to take a look. Number 3890, Lin You, Great Wilderness Principality, 28,447. Not bad. The ranking has increased a lot. He has only been promoted to the 9th level for a few days. If he continues at this rate, he will be able to reach the rank of 1000 in no time. And now he still has Qing Tang's trump card. As long as there are enough corpses, the strength he can exert is definitely much higher than this combat power. Coupled with the power of rules and the concealment methods of 2 pieces of 10th level equipment, it is still possible to compete with the old lord. Therefore, combat power and ranking can only be regarded as a basis for judging, and they do not represent everything. It seems we need to collect more corpses. After depositing 5 billion mana into the fixed funds of Huangsha City, he took a look at the scene of the new city being built in full swing outside. Lin Yu teleported away from the territory again and came to the boundary battlefield. Although he now has a lot of magic energy, it consumes just as much, because once he faces a 10th level monster, his troops will definitely suffer a lot of losses. At the current price of unit mutations, it would cost him at least 30 million to create a symbiotic moss with the ability to change. More than 9 billion magic energy seems like a lot, but it can only create more than 300. It also requires 5 billion magic energy to condense the godhead. Coupled with the investment in territorial development, the funding gap is not as large as usual. Therefore, this realm war is crucial to him, and it is an excellent opportunity to accumulate a large amount of resources. Thinking of this, Lin Yu couldn't help but speed up, mounted the demon ancestral dragon and flew directly to the battlefield, gradually disappearing from sight in a blink of an eye. Just 2 days passed. After 2 days of preparation, all the anti-alliance camp lords who were fighting on the battlefield finally received a reminder. Lords, please note that the battlefield commander has issued a rally order. Please all lords go to your respective war zones immediately and wait for the next order. Attention, all lords. Loud reminders rang 3 times in the minds of the lords. Whether they were hunting monsters or doing tasks, they all stopped and looked in the direction of the war zone. Are we finally going to launch an all-out attack? Ha ha, I have been waiting for this day for a long time. Let's go. Don't do the mission. Go back first. Today we must work hard to break into the Realm Alliance's lair. In the blink of an eye, the lords in every corner of the battlefield mounted their mounts and rushed back towards the war zone from all directions. The entire sky and earth were filled with people rushing on their way, and the scene was extremely spectacular. Lin Yu, who was looking for the Lord Monster nearby, quickly returned to the outside of the war zone. At a glance, he saw several great emperors and a group of realm representatives standing in the void, as well as a huge team that was constantly gathering below. After scanning around, he finally found the primitive world team in one of the corners, and let the demonic ancestor dragon land directly. Lin Yu, you are here too. As soon as they landed, Yanlai and Sidu Jian, who had already arrived in the team, came to greet them. Lin Yu couldn't help but be a little surprised when he saw the two of them. Have you also reached the 9th level? Of course. In order to catch up with you, we have been hunting the 8th level lords on the opposite side of the intermediate battlefield during this period, and then exchanged our merits for a lot of power of faith, Yanlai said with his head raised. I see. Hearing Yanlai's words, Lin Yu suddenly realized really, the strength of Yanlai and Situ Jian is definitely at the forefront among the 8th level. If the two of them work together, they can easily hunt down other 8th level lords, who are alone. Originally, at the original speed, they shouldn't be able to reach the 9th level so quickly, but the emergence of the realm battlefield gave them the opportunity to quickly accumulate resources. It can only be said that the battlefield has helped them, and it has also helped those lords, who are stronger than their peers. I have received news that the great emperors from all walks of life have led the 11th and 10th level lords to hold back the higher-ups on the opposite side. Now is the best time to attack, Situ Jian said in a low voice. It's better to be careful, Lin You said with a solemn expression. The number of great emperors on our side is almost twice that of the opposite side, but we are still being held back. The opposite side is definitely not easy. You are right, there is indeed a difficult opponent in the Realm Alliance. At this time, a voice sounded from the side. Ji Yunshuang, wearing holy white clothes and holding a golden scepter, appeared and walked slowly towards them. You are here too. Lin Yu looked at her, not too surprised by her arrival. After all, this was a battle that brought together almost all the lords, so there was no reason for Ji Yunshuang not to come. On the contrary, Yanlai and Situ Jian next to them looked puzzled. Who is this? She is the daughter of our king of the Great Wilderness Principality, Ji Yunshuang. Lin Yu introduced her. It turns out she is the princess of the Wilderness Kingdom. I have admired her for a long time. Situ Jian seemed to have heard of Ji Yunshuang's name, and greeted her politely. Princess of the Wilderness Kingdom. Why haven't I heard of it? Yanlai scratched his head. You know how to find people to fight all day long. How can you pay attention to these things? Situ Jian couldn't help but complain. When Yanlai heard this, he immediately smiled awkwardly. Hey, it's my fault, sister. Don't pay too much attention. It's okay. Ji Yunshuang chuckled. Then a few people briefly introduced each other and got straight to the point. You just said that the Realm Alliance has a difficult opponent. What do you mean? Lin Yu asked. Hearing this, Yanlai and the other two also looked towards her. You must have heard about the seals on the monster plane, right? Ji Yunshuang asked. I've heard of some. Of course I know. Lin Yu and the other three nodded in response. They have more or less experienced things related to seals before, so they still have some understanding of this, especially Lin Yu, who can already guess almost everything as expected. After hearing their answers, Ji Yunshuang said seriously, as far as I know, the seal in the Nightmare Forest has been broken by the Realm Alliance. Not only that, the monster plane also collapsed on a large scale due to the disappearance of the seal, and it seems to be showing signs of collapse. Crash. Lin Yu and the other three were all shocked. They had guessed that it was because the seal was broken, and the suppressed terrorist existence came out that the Realm Alliance had the capital to compete with them, but he never expected that even the monster plane would be affected and on the verge of collapse. Could it be said that this is the real reason why the entrance to the monster plane is closed? If that were the case, that would be serious. Although they don't know what the consequences will be if the monster plane disappears, they know that the realm of all races connected to the monster plane will definitely be affected, and it's unprecedented. No wonder they are so eager to launch a general attack. It seems that they want to completely eliminate the scourge of the Realm Alliance. Situ Jian's face was full of solemnity. We have to be more careful later, to avoid being harmed by those lunatics from the Realm Alliance, Yanlai said with a frown. In that case, let's act together so that we can take care of each other, Lin Yu suggested immediately. Among the four of them, Yanlai was the main attacker, he was the main defender, and Situ Jian and Ji Yunshuang were assisting in the attack and providing support. They could just form a highly complementary team. So after thinking about it, several people had no objections and began to gather together to discuss the next tactics. It wasn't until an hour passed that most of the lords had gathered. Only then did the light-chasing emperor at the front of the team stand up. Everyone, the time to attack the Realm Alliance has finally arrived. For the order of the world, and for the life and death of our realm, we must capture the entrance to the Realm Alliance this time to prevent their ambition to destroy the world. Are you all ready? The Emperor's voice was very loud and penetrating. It spread throughout the field and shocked the hearts of all the lords. Kill, roar. The loud shouts of killing caused the entire realm to tremble violently. All the lords raised their weapons and responded to the Emperor's words. Very good. Now that you are all ready, then follow me into the Realm Alliance and set off. With an order, the team finally moved. A huge army composed of hundreds of thousands of 9th level lords, led by representatives from all walks of life, mounted their mounts and rushed towards the direction of the Realm Alliance. Everywhere he looked, there was darkness, almost everywhere in the sky and on the ground, and it was impossible to see beyond. Lin Yu and the four of them also mounted their mounts and followed the pace of the team, moving quickly on the battlefield. After a while, the war zone was left far behind them, until it disappeared. Accelerate. At this moment, one of the great emperors suddenly waved, and a breeze blew up, sweeping across the entire army in an instant. Acquire the wind travel status blessing, increase the speed by 500%. last for 30 minutes, and the battle will be automatically terminated. What a perverted effect. Lin Yu was shocked when he heard the prompt in his mind. With just a wave of his hand, he directly increased the speed of the entire army 5 times. Is this an emperor-level method? Without waiting for him to think about it, the speed of the entire army suddenly increased and turned into a torrent running on the battlefield. The base camp of the Realm Alliance, which originally took several hours to arrive, appeared in front of them in less than 2 hours. Looking from a distance, the lords of the Realm Alliance were everywhere inside and outside the city wall, all in a prepared posture, and there was a chilling atmosphere in the air. Apparently they had received the news that they were going to attack, and they had gathered their men early to wait in the combat zone. Above the city wall, there are still several great emperors and many 10th and 11th level lords standing. The army of lords that was originally on the road gradually stopped and faced each other across the plain outside the war zone. Lin You, I didn't expect you to lead the army. On the anti-alliance side, the leader, Emperor Zhuguang, was the first to speak out, and his voice spread throughout the battlefield. So what if it's me? As long as I'm here today, you can't even think about stepping foot here. Emperor Lin You snorted coldly, and the evil energy surged around his body, making his whole person's aura much higher. Emperor Zhuangguang and several other great emperors stared at each other. You have indeed absorbed that power. It seems that I can't keep you today. Can't you keep me? That depends on whether you have the ability. Now that my strength has skyrocketed, it's time to settle the grudges from back then. Just what I wanted. The light-chasing emperor had a serious look on his face, and in a flash, he disappeared from the spot together with the other great emperors. Several great emperors on the opposite side also disappeared immediately and went to confront them in the void. It was only then that King Yefeng, as the commander of the war zone, finally stood up and slowly raised the flag in his hand, pointing directly at the Realm Alliance army. The whole army obeys the order and attacks. Kill. Come on. Suddenly, hundreds of thousands of 9th level lords summoned troops, spread out like a tide, and launched an attack on the walls of the Realm Alliance. The Realm Alliance was not to be outdone. The armies of both sides suddenly collided with each other and started fighting frantically across the city wall. The whole battlefield was filled with shouts of killing. Dense attacks emerged, whizzing past, where the two armies met. The soldiers met, screams were everywhere, and blood and flesh were flying everywhere. A large number of soldiers fell, and other soldiers quickly took over, roaring and fighting with each other. Splatters of blood continued to scatter in the air. The scene is extremely chaotic, and a battle between the two sides is about to break out. Lin You and the 4 of them mingled among the primitive world's teams, and advanced with their troops. They were soon targeted by a group of lords from the other side, and they all turned around and surrounded them. Guardian of Holy Light, hearing Ji Yunshuang's loud shout, the angel priest next to her raised her staff high, and exploded with the power of holy light, covering all the troops in the team with a white shield. Ha ha, it's great. You bastards from the Realm Alliance, come here and die. With the blessing of the shield, Yan Lai suddenly felt confident. He laughed and headed towards the orc army, blocking the opponent's troops at once. Lin Yu's ancient tree army followed closely behind, and their huge bodies stood there, forming a copper wall, an iron wall to block a large number of attacks. Then there was a sound of breaking through the air, and countless vines passed through the gaps and entangled the melee soldiers who rushed up. For a while, several attacks broke out one after another. Mushroom spikes, spears of holy light, and sidu swords swept towards the opponent like an army of insects capped by dark clouds, frozen for thousands of miles. Unexpectedly, a loud shout suddenly came from the opposite team. Beside one of the extraordinary elemental lords, the ice elemental soldiers suddenly erupted with an extremely cold aura, sweeping towards the surroundings. The fierce orc army and Lin Yu's ancient tree troops had just taken a few steps back when they were immediately frozen into ice sculptures and unable to move. Be careful, he has ice blast skills, Situ Jian reminded loudly, seeming to have some understanding of this type of ice element. The ice blast skill is the signature of the ice element, which can detonate the frozen state on the target and cause terrifying large amounts of damage. Lin Yu didn't dare to be careless, so he prepared to activate the protective barrier to resist the damage, but don't want to. At this time, Ji Yunshuang beside him had already taken the lead. The scale of crime and punishment. With a loud shout, a group of holy angels holding scales around her rose into the sky. Chants swirled around them, and a huge white scale condensed in front of her, which suddenly fell from the sky. Just at this time, the ice element on the opposite side launched the ice blast skill, and an extremely cold air burst out. Wherever it went, the frozen state on the soldiers exploded instantly, and exploded into countless pieces. But the weird thing is, Lin Yu and his troops did not receive any damage, but the ice elemental troops shrouded in the scales were blown away one by one. their bodies shattered into ice slag. Damage transfer. Lin You and Yan Lai were shocked. They didn't expect Ji Yunshuang to have such a powerful method. They had never heard of the angels holding the scales. Obviously it is also an extremely rare type of soldier. Seeing this, Lin Yu naturally no longer held back, and patches of dandelions flew up and spread out in all directions. There are nearly 70 dandelion soldiers headed by Soul Chaser. As soon as the seeds took off, they spread out at a speed that was noticeable to the naked eye. Especially at this time, the battlefield was full of corpses and blood, which encouraged the growth of dandelions. In the blink of an eye, bright red clusters bloomed on the ground around them, spreading and attaching themselves to the soldiers. Suddenly, the soldiers turned around and started killing each other on the spot with roars. What happened? Why are all the troops going crazy? It's a crowd control skill. Disperse quickly. The Lords of the Realm Alliance shouted repeatedly and hurriedly recruited a large number of angel-type troops to dispel the hallucination state on other troops. Unexpectedly, as soon as the hallucination was dispelled, the dandelions attached to their soldiers exploded, instantly killing a group of soldiers on the spot. This is not over yet. After those soldiers died, clusters of dandelions bloomed on the corpses, drifting into the air with the wind, and spread to other parts of the battlefield again. At this point, Lin Yu finally completed the initial layout, just waiting for the dandelion to slowly ferment and spread throughout the battlefield like a virus. Although it won't affect the entire battle situation, it is no problem to use it to pick up leaks. As long as any lord accidentally inhales his dandelions and uses up his own life-saving protection ability, he can only ask for blessings. So he didn't rush to detonate it, but allowed it to spread. Then, together with Yan Lai, they continued to attack the team of the Boundary Alliance. Remember to treat me. At this time, Yan Lai at the front suddenly shouted, and the bodies of him and the orcs around him began to expand rapidly, directly transforming into half-orc forms. The aura on his body also increased to an extremely terrifying level. Group animalization. Everyone, be careful. Quick, stop him. We must not let him rush in. The lords on the opposite side obviously also knew the horror of the ability to transform into beasts, and they all retreated in shock. A large number of soldiers followed closely, and all the firepower was transferred to the fierce orc army, trying to destroy him by focusing the fire. Of course Lin Yu would not let them get their wish. At the moment when the dense attack was about to fall, the protective barrier and the life curtain were activated, and two huge emerald green light curtains directly enveloped the entire orc army. After a violent collision, the orc army was only slightly injured. Not only did it not affect them, it actually activated the humanoid racial talent, and all attributes increased when injured. Roar. With a roar, the entire orc army rushed towards the opposite side, under the leadership of Yan Lai, like a sharp knife, ruthlessly tearing open the defense line of the Realm Alliance team. Wherever they went, all the soldiers were split in half by battle axes, and blood was spilled all over the ground. It was extremely ferocious. No one is even their enemy. To know, Yan Lai had only been promoted to the 9th level for a few days, but his strength had reached such a level that even Lin Yu couldn't help but feel a little moved. However, the Realm Alliance reacted quickly. A group of demon lords teamed up to build a magic circle, sacrificed thousands of soldiers, and summoned several huge Balrogs, whose aura far exceeded the 9th level. Skyfire. Just hearing a loud shout from one of the lords, the bodies of the Balrogs ignited with blazing flames. The huge flame energy gathered rapidly in the air and suddenly rained down meteors and fire on the orc army. Everywhere he went, the space was distorted and seemed to evaporate. If they were hit, the fierce orc army would probably be either dead or disabled. Buzz buzz. But at this moment, a dense sound of flapping wings sounded. Sidu Jian, who had been at the back of the team, finally took action. A large swath of sickle montises emerged crazily like a black tide, swinging a pair of sharp sickles. In an instant, countless air blades flew out, forming a terrifying net in the air. As soon as those fire rains fell, they were cut open by air blades and turned into dots of starlight that dissipated in the sky. It was impossible to get even close to the orc army. Thanks, Yan Lai shouted without looking back, and started charging crazily in the enemy team. When Lin Yu and Ji Yunshuang saw this, they immediately felt relieved. While commanding the troops to provide treatment and support, they launched an attack and followed the anti-alliance camp's large forces to slowly advance forward. There are constant shouts of killing in the ears. Melee units collide with each other, and long-range units are bombarding each other crazily. There are countless flying units fighting fiercely in the sky, and blood and corpses are constantly falling. And at this time, tens of thousands of meters above the ground, a group of 10th and 11th level lords were also facing each other. Countless powerful troops were fighting crazily, and there was a booming sound, which combined with the shouts of killing below, causing the entire battlefield to shake violently. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane, obtain 300 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. In less than 10 minutes, a reminder suddenly sounded in Lin Yu's mind, causing his commanding movements to pause and his eyes to light up. If his guess was correct, the dandelions he spread should have started to work as expected. After a while, 2 more reminders rang in his mind. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, obtain 500 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, obtain 70 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Needless to say, these slain lords must have accidentally inhaled his dandelions, and died instantly before they had time to react. In normal times, this might not be so easy to achieve, but it's different on the battlefield. The chaotic scene, coupled with the huge number of lords, is definitely the best opportunity to accumulate a large amount of resources. Chasing the soul, without hesitation, he immediately shouted to the ghost chasing around him who was spreading dandelion seeds. After Zihan received the order, his body wrapped in thorns swayed slightly, and an invisible wave centered on it, surging out in the direction of the Realm Alliance. In the blink of an eye, a series of explosions sounded, causing a large commotion among the ranks of the Realm Alliance. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, obtain 100 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Kill the 9th level Lord of the Alien Plane, obtain 400 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. 2 more beeps sounded. 2 unlucky Realm Alliance lords were directly killed on the spot by the detonation skills of Soul Chaser. Dandelions bloomed again on the corpses of the soldiers, who were killed by the bombing, and continued to spread in all directions. Lin You gradually narrowed his eyes. He found that killing the enemy lord using this method was much easier and faster than a frontal attack. If the battle continues, it is impossible to say that he will be able to accumulate enough power of faith in a short period of time to condense his godhead, and even rise to the 10th level. That's right, this is his chance. It is also an opportunity for him to accumulate a large amount of resources and close the gap with those old lords. However, this approach also has a flaw. That is, the explosion range of Chaihin is not unlimited, but is affected by the scope of his original space, and can only detonate seeds about 5 kilometers away. If it's any further away, it won't be able to detonate. They can only rely on those seeds to be inhaled into the body, and whether they can kill the enemy depends entirely on luck. But even so, his chances are still very good. After all, there are so many people on the battlefield, and there are always a few unlucky ones, who can get stuck in their teeth even after drinking water, and some who have just been upgraded and are relatively weak. These lords are his main targets. Great, keep spreading the seeds. After saying something to Chaihin, Lin You once again commanded other units to fight, waiting for the next opportunity to detonate. As the army continued to advance like this, kill prompts kept ringing in Lin Yu's mind. In just an hour, he had accumulated hundreds of kills, and his magic energy reached an exaggerated amount of more than 20 billion. Even the veteran 9th level lords dare not imagine such huge resources, let alone take them out. But what pleased Lin You the most was his battlefield achievements. Thousands of points of merit are equivalent to 100,000 of the power of faith, but it excited him to death. At this moment, a reminder sounded in his mind. Congratulations to the Lord, you have successfully entered the top 10 on the Realm Battlefield kill list, current ranking 10. Into the top 10. Lin You was stunned for a moment. The kill list can only be viewed in the war zone, but he still has a relatively clear idea of his kill count, which is almost 200. This still only ranks 10th. It seems that others have also gained a lot on this battlefield, especially that Angus of the Yuan Zun realm. I am afraid that he has been massacred in a corner of the battlefield to collect the essence of the territory. After this battle, there will definitely be more types of troops around the opponent, so you have to be more careful in the future. At least don't run into that guy before condensing the 4th piece of Godhead. Thinking of this, Lin You continued to direct the battle while quietly collecting the corpses of the soldiers on the battlefield. At this time, his original space, except for the positions used to place troops, was basically filled with sealed corpses, numbering tens of thousands. This is also the limit of what his space can currently store. In normal times, it would not be easy for him to collect so many 9th level corpses, so naturally he would not miss such a good opportunity. Boom! Suddenly, there was a loud noise in the sky. After more than an hour of fighting, the teams of the 10th and 11th levels finally decided the winner. Under the attack of the wind-controlling king, the commander of the Realm Alliance was blown away by a powerful force that destroyed the heaven and earth, staining the sky with blood. The lords below couldn't help but look up. This strength is probably close to that of Emperor Xinyao before he became emperor. Ji Yunchuang's eyes were solemn. Indeed, Lin You nodded seriously. He had seen the strength of Emperor Xinyao before he became emperor. The power of the 9 fragments of the godhead could definitely be regarded as the existence closest to the emperor level. He didn't expect that. The strength of this wind-controlling king is actually so terrifying. He is only one step away from reaching the throne. No wonder he becomes the commander-in-chief of the entire war zone. The defeat of the commander of the Realm Alliance also represents the defeat of the Realm Alliance side. Kill, come on. The shouts of killing and roars merged into one in an instant. The number of lords in the anti-alliance camp is already larger than that of the Realm Alliance. Now that the wind-controlling king had severely damaged the opponent's commander, their morale had soared. They launched a general attack amidst loud shouts and used their explosive skills for free. This finally became the last straw to crush the Realm Alliance, completely breaking through their defense line. Back off, back off! The defense line was breached, and the team of the Realm Alliance immediately became confused. They hurriedly ordered the troops to shrink the battle circle and retreat into the protective shield in the battle zone. The anti-alliance army swarmed forward, destroyed the city wall in front of them, and began to launch a fierce attack on the giant protective shield, overwhelming the Realm Alliance. At this time, the impact of an individual on the entire battle situation is too small. Even some of the powerful 9th level lords were pushed back by the surging army like mountains and seas, and had to huddle in the protective barrier to resist. Thousands of miles high in the sky, the senior leaders of the Realm Alliance were retreating steadily, and had no time to care about the battle below. Rumble, violent vibrations, accompanied by explosions, spread around the Boundary Alliance war zone. Countless attacks landed on the protective shield, creating circles of ripples visible to the naked eye. The original bright light was dimming rapidly, and it felt like it would collapse at any time. Crack, finally. The intensive attacks exceeded the range that the boundary battlefield could withstand, and cracks in the space appeared. There are more and more cracks, gradually spreading to every corner, which intensifies the attenuation speed of the protective shield. Seeing that the defeat was certain, some Realm Alliance lords, who were afraid of death, immediately gave up their defense and fled backwards, taking the teleportation array to escape from here. Come back to me! The old lords roared angrily, but could not stop them from retreating, especially after someone started. More and more lords were aroused to survive, and they turned around and fled with their troops. In the blink of an eye, the Realm Alliance was defeated. The theater protective shield also shattered under the fierce attack of the anti-alliance army, and exploded into countless fragments. Rush, kill them all. The lords of both sides already had deep grudges, so how could they miss this opportunity to beat up the lost dog? They rushed into the war zone frantically to pursue the fleeing Realm Alliance lords. Naturally, Lin You would not let go of this last opportunity. He launched his savage roar and immediately activated the attributes of all the soldiers in their team to join the pursuit. Then, with a thought in his mind, the dandelion seeds that had been scattered before finally closed the net. At the last moment, when the lords fled towards the teleportation array in panic, they exploded, causing a series of loud noises. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane, obtain 700 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane, obtain 200 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane, obtain 80 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. A dozen reminders sounded in his mind. Lin You was so excited that he didn't expect to be able to harvest this big one at this last moment. Even Yan Lai and Ji Yunshuang all rose up one after another and killed several lords, who fled in panic under the blessing of savage roars. And his royal troops were scattered everywhere, leading other plants to pursue the victory. In particular, the green vines, which had absorbed a large amount of flesh and blood, fell into a state of frenzy. The giant vines were like pythons, shuttling through the gaps and heading towards the team of the Realm Alliance. What the hell kind of plant is this? Quickly retreat. Don't be obsessed with fighting. Careful. Several Realm Alliance lords shouted in alarm while resisting the attack and retreating, showing no intention of fighting. But what they didn't expect was, as he ran, the battlefield around him gradually disappeared. In a daze, it turned into a blue rose garden, and even the deafening shouts of killing all around disappeared. It's like suddenly traveling to another space. Damn it, it's an illusion. We are under an illusion. Quick, purify quickly. The expressions of several lords changed drastically, and they immediately summoned all the troops to their side to protect themselves. One of the angel-type lords even issued an order to let the soldiers activate their concentration skills to provide them with spiritual protection. However, at this moment, an invisible wave broke out, slamming into their minds and interrupting all their movements. Affected by the skill, mental interference, the mental attributes, are reduced by 50% for 10 seconds. A cold reminder sounded in their minds like a death sentence. One of the lords looked horrified and staggered back. No, I don't want to die. I don't want to die here, he yelled in panic. Finally unable to bear the fear of death any longer, he turned around and ran away towards the outside of the garden. It is the additional effect of Ivy Forest of Fear, which reduces the enemy's spirit by 10% and amplifies the fear in the enemy's heart. Come back, stop running around, the other lords shouted anxiously, trying to pull that lord back. But the next second, there was a pop sound, and a battle axe appeared out of thin air, slashing open the lord's chest. Kill with one blow. It's weird. Why did this guy come to your door by himself? Yan Lai put away his battle axe and scratched his head in confusion. From his perspective, the lord just stood there and screamed, then ran toward him like crazy, as if he didn't want to live anymore. Is there such a good thing in this world? Situ Jian on the other hand had a solemn expression on his face, looking at Lin You not far away, and Deep Blue Mimung beside him. It should be a fantasy type skill. I didn't expect that he would get such a powerful unit. As soon as the words fell, a powerful mental wave suddenly broke out and rolled towards the remaining leaders. The few people who were still cautiously guarding the surroundings suddenly felt as if they were hit hard. They rolled their eyes and fell to the ground with foam at the mouth. Immediately afterwards, countless vines burst out of the ground and penetrated their bodies instantly. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane. Obtain 200 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. Kill the 9th level lord of the alien plane. Obtain 300 million mana, 10 battlefield merit points, and 9th level territory essence x1. In the blink of an eye, several more lords were killed. The strange scene immediately caused other nearby lords to flee in shock, not daring to come any closer. Just like this, after a round of crazy pursuit, all the lords of the Realm Alliance finally escaped through the teleportation array. Even the senior officials of the Realm Alliance, who were high in the sky, were repelled and defeated, leaving the entire battlefield suddenly empty. The anti-Union army was silent for a moment, and then immediately burst into deafening cheers. But they also know that now is not the time to relax, because the battle zone was breached. It was an opportunity to attack the entrance of the Realm Alliance in one go, and the Realm Alliance must not be given time to breathe. Very good. At this time, King Yufeng led representatives from all walks of life to the sky above the team. Rest where you are and heal, and prepare to attack the entrance of the Realm Alliance with me. Roar! The lord below responded excitedly. With fighting spirit reaching the sky, Lin You and the others in the team quickly gathered together. Lin You, hurry up, give me a quick feed. Yan Lai was covered in blood and ran to Lin You, seeking treatment. There was a huge gash on his shoulder and back, and blood kept flowing out, which looked extremely scary. If it were an ordinary person, he would have died of excessive blood loss long ago. I really don't know what this guy's body is made of. Maybe he inherited the orc genes. Lin You has long been accustomed to this. Without saying anything else, the flower essences were flying one by one, and a rich breath of life was falling downwards. I'm here to help. Ji Yunchuang's angel sacrifice also had healing skills, and a large piece of holy light lit up, shining on the four of them. Yan Lai's injuries are also recovering at a speed that is noticeable to the naked eye. The healing skills of the angel type and the plant type have different effects. Angel type main healing has a greater advantage in terms of treatment volume, and it is an instant burst of treatment, which can heal the wound in a short time. Plant-based recovery is mainly about continuous treatment, and the treatment is accompanied by the breath of life. While healing, it will also nourish all aspects of the human body's functions, and restore it to its peak state. It can only be said that each has its own advantages and disadvantages, and each performs well in various types of battles. Seeing that Yan Lai was out of danger, Lin You sent out the lantern grass troops, flying into the air one by one, emitting large amounts of fluorescence to help treat the injuries of other surrounding lords. Thanks, brother. The treated lords cast grateful glances, and some smiled at Lin You to express friendship. Lin You nodded to them, then came to the side and sat down, and began to count the harvest. It can be said, this camp war was definitely the biggest gain he had ever had. From the beginning of the battle to now, in just 3 hours, he had scored 152 kills, and his magic energy had soared to 30 billion, not counting the 5 billion stored in Huangsha City. These are not the important points. After all, he no longer lacks magic energy. The most important thing is the battlefield achievements. A full 1,520 points of merit are equivalent to 150,000 faith. If he had done this before, he would have never dared to imagine it. but now he has done it. It was just as Ji Xing said, this realm war is the opportunity for his rise. After careful calculation, he now has the equivalent of more than 230,000 power of faith, which is only 20,000 short of being able to reach the 10th level. The level that countless lords aspire to. Just thinking about it made his heart beat fast, and his breathing became rapid. Certainly, Lin You didn't plan to upgrade so soon. Instead, we must first use these 250,000 beliefs to condense the Godhead and complete the path of sainthood. In this way, after he upgrades to the 10th level, he will have 3 more Godheads than the ordinary 10th level. By establishing an advantage from the beginning, he can quickly gain a foothold in the 10th level. After all, he heard about it. After reaching the 10th level, the strength system will undergo huge changes, so you must prepare in advance. Just thinking about it, the commander who had rested slowly rose into the air and came to the front of the team. Okay, let's go. With an order, the entire huge army of lords moved again. They mounted their mounts and followed representatives from all walks of life to march rapidly towards the entrance of the Realm Alliance. In the blink of an eye, the war zone turned into ruins was far behind. There was no ambush as imagined at the entrance to the Realm Alliance. When Lin You followed the anti-alliance army to the intersection of the two realms, all that was left was a mess with not a single person in sight. Looking through the entrance to the plain, one can still vaguely see the scene in the opposite realm, which is like a reflection in the water, and seems a bit illusory. It seems that they knew they couldn't defend it, and gave up the entrance directly. Situ Jian said in a low voice. Passing through this entrance is the plane of the demon-subduing realm, which is the outermost realm in the Realm Alliance. Ji Yunshuang said immediately. Suppress the demon realm, Lin Yu whispered softly. During this time, he had a general understanding of the distribution of forces in the Realm Alliance. In general, the Realm Alliance is divided into 2 forces, taking the Eternal Realm and the Demonic Realm as the centers respectively. They spread out to the surrounding areas. Basically all the planes adjacent to these 2 realms have joined the Realm Alliance, and there is little resistance. I don't know what means the Realm Alliance used to get so many realms to join them willingly. Now the Realm Alliance is a piece of iron, tightly bound together. It's probably not easy to break into their headquarters. You have to be prepared for a long-term crusade. Not long after they arrived at the entrance to the demon-suppressing realm, teams from the low-level war zone and the intermediate war zone also came from the other 2 directions to join them. Apparently they all won. Come on, follow me in. The emperors were missing, and as the supreme commander, King Yufeng naturally became the commander-in-chief of the entire battlefield. After giving the order, he took the lead in leading the team through the barrier at the entrance to the plain, and entered the demon-suppressing world. Seeing this, the other lords naturally followed suit. In the blink of an eye, the huge team turned into a torrent, and quickly merged into it. Everyone is following closely. Ji Xing, who was at the front of the primitive world team, shouted and led the team to keep up. After a while, Lin You and the others followed the Lord's army through the plain barrier, and entered the demon-subduing realm. They were also shocked by the scene in front of them. I saw that the entire sky of the demon-subduing realm had been shrouded in a black evil aura. There were dark clouds in the sky, and at first glance, I thought I had accidentally walked into hell. Where they were, there was an endless black land, as if it had been scorched. But what shocked Lin Yu the most was the sky. Hundreds of majestic figures stood impressively, and you could feel an aura that made people want to surrender from a distance. Great Emperor. They are all great emperors. Yan Lai's eyes suddenly widened. The same goes for everyone else, all with shocked expressions on their faces, because it was the first time for them to see so many great emperors appear at one time. There are more than 600, which means that all the realms responsible for this battlefield have sent an emperor to guard it. If you put it this way, there should be similar scenes on the other 9 battlefields. No wonder the Realm Alliance retreated so quickly. It turned out that the emperors had already invaded this realm before them. I can feel that there is a very powerful aura on the other side, Situ Jian said with a solemn expression. When Lin Yu and others heard this, they couldn't help but look towards the vast void opposite, and indeed they could feel a heart-stopping aura. Needless to say, it must be the Emperor from the Realm Alliance, confronting them. Even standing underneath, you can feel a strong chilling atmosphere. You are here. At this time, the space in front of the primitive team was distorted, and Emperor Xin Yao appeared in front of them out of thin air, followed by a group of 10th level and 11th level kings. They are all lords from the primitive world, and they have basically all arrived. I've met the Emperor. I've met all the seniors. Ji Xing quickly bowed to them. Although he is the king of the principality, he still has to be inferior to these big guys. But luckily, this time, the person sent by the primitive world to guard was Emperor Xin Yao, which made Lin Yu and the team finally feel relieved. No gift. Emperor Xinyao was not as rigid as other emperors. With a wave of his hand, he landed on the ground and came to the front of their team. Everyone has worked hard on this journey. He glanced at the team behind him, and then looked at the kings behind him. You all should take people from your respective countries down to make arrangements first. After that, he brought the 9 principal kings including Yuwa, Tianyan, and Liu Huo to the team of Xinyao Empire. Those kings spread out and summoned their domestic lords to arrange things. In the blink of an eye, all the lords of the 10 major principalities under the Xinyao Empire gathered. Only then did I hear Emperor Xinyao say loudly, "You should have seen it too. Now the top 10 battlefields have successfully invaded the Realm Alliance. When the time comes, we will establish a cross-border teleportation array directly here as a base for the anti-alliance camp. During this period, you can wait where you are, or go around for free activities. But remember not to run too far, because the army of the Realm Alliance is right on the opposite side." As soon as the words fell, there was a commotion in the team. From the 9th level lords to the 6th level lords, everyone couldn't help but look into the distance. The land they are standing on now is the territory of the Realm Alliance, and they may encounter the lords of the Realm Alliance at any time. If a person accidentally encounters a higher ranking lord than himself, he may die without knowing how. Another point. At this time, Emperor Xinyao's voice sounded again. Due to some special reasons, the monsters in the Realm Alliance are now infected to varying degrees and evolving. In some places, there will even be monsters of level 10 or above. Don't run around when you go out, otherwise no one can save you. A 10th level monster. Everyone was shocked when they heard this. There are not many monsters of this level, even in the entire Principality Kingdom. They rarely appear, and once they appear, they will basically be dealt with immediately by the king, or other strong men above level 10, so they rarely encounter them. But compared to Evrion's fear, Lin Yu's eyes lit up. His power of faith has now basically reached the requirements for condensing his godhead, and he has collected tens of thousands of corpses. As long as you make some more preparations, you can try to meet the lowest level 10th level monsters for a while, and get the last material to condense the godhead, the rule fragments. So what he lacks now is just a suitable 10th level monster. It is best to have a monster with the lowest level F, so that he will be more sure. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but look forward to it. And this expectation just fell into the eyes of Emperor Xinyao, and his brows suddenly wrinkled. "Boy Lin You, are you planning something wrong again?" Emperor Xinyao had long been accustomed to Lin Yu's ability to cause a lot of troubles, so seeing Lin Yu's expression like this, you knew he was planning some daring plan. Lin Yu didn't expect that Emperor Xinyao would suddenly call his name. Suddenly, Evrion's eyes gathered around him, and fell on him in surprise. After all, having the Emperor personally name someone is not an honor that everyone can have. Facing their gazes, Lin Yu could only smile awkwardly. "No, it's nothing. I'm afraid of dying. What bad ideas can I have?" As soon as these words came out, Yan Lai and Sidu Jian beside them were speechless. If you were afraid of death, how could you go out and kill the 9th level lord, not long after he was promoted to the 8th level? If they hadn't already known who Lin Yu was, they would have been deceived by his innocent expression. Even Ji Yunshuang on the other side rolled his eyes at him, and almost didn't laugh at his words. "Stop pretending to me." Emperor Xinyao glared at Lin Yu fiercely. "How can I not know what you are like? It's inappropriate to ask you to be my heir. If you insist on running out and messing around, I won't do it next time. Sora goes to save you." Heir. At this time, everyone was shocked, and they all looked at Lin Yu and Emperor Xinyao in shock. Even the expressions of the 10 kings of the duchy nearby could not help but change. Emperor Xinyao actually wants Lin Yu to be his successor, and it was rejected. That is the heir to the great emperor. There is a chance to become an emperor in the future. He actually refused. You know, even they are eager for the position of heir to Emperor Xinyao, and even dream about it. Now that they suddenly heard that they were rejected by Lin Yu, they almost thought that they had heard wrongly. But Emperor Xinyao's reproachful tone with a hint of displeasure forced them to believe that it was true, and even the way they looked at Lin Yu became different. Because they know the temperament of Emperor Xinyao very well, they will never talk nonsense about this kind of thing. That is to say, he is really optimistic about Lin Yu. "I just want to try it on my own." Lin Yu felt so miserable. Could he say this in front of everyone? He even refused the position of the emperor's heir. In the future, these people are afraid that they will regard him as a fool, or think that he does not know how to be noble. Fortunately, Emperor Xinyao seemed to have received some inspiration at this time. He waved his hand and said, "Forget it. Do whatever you like, just don't embarrass the empire. I have to deal with it in advance. You can move freely first." After saying that, he disappeared directly and joined the other great emperors in the air. The Yanlai people in the team looked at Lin Yu suspiciously, as if they had met him on the first day. "Lin Yu, did you really reject the position of the emperor's heir?" Yan Lai asked directly. Absolutely. Lin You shrugged helplessly. Yan Lai, Situ Jian, and Ji Yunshuang heard this and immediately opened their mouths, unable to say a word finally, still giving him a thumbs up. You are awesome, that's all. The episode ends here, but precisely because of this incident, Lin You suddenly became a celebrity in the Xinyao Empire, and many people even came to greet him and build relationships with him. After all, he is someone whom the emperor values. Although he is only a 9th level lord now, his achievements in the future will definitely be high. They are very clear about this. After a period of commotion among the lords from all walks of life, the emperors finally took action. Under the watchful eyes of all the lords, they slowly descended from the air and formed a circle on the plain at the entrance to the plain. Let's start. One of the great emperors whispered something, and then all the great emperors stretched out their hands, and a vast power suddenly burst out. Then with a loud rumbling sound, the ground shook, and a huge gap opened in the space, gradually revealing a building wrapped in a defensive light shield. This is the cross-border teleportation area on the Gyuan realm. Lin You was shocked. He didn't expect that the preparation mentioned by the emperor was to directly move the entire cross-border teleportation area. Even their stations in various realms, and the buildings in the war zone appeared together, appearing out of thin air in every corner of the plain. In the blink of an eye, a huge war camp was formed on this vast plain, which could accommodate almost all the lords from all realms. The emperor-level methods are indeed powerful. Lin You couldn't help but yearn for it. And just when everyone was shocked, a dazzling light soared into the sky with the cross-border teleportation array as the center, and a huge defensive array was built above, covering the entire war camp. Come on, let's go to the station and have a look. We've earned a lot of merit today, and we can finally exchange things. When the dust settled, the lords from all walks of life immediately started to move and gathered towards the stations in their respective realms. Then Lin You was surprised to find that the area of the realm station had been expanded a lot, and even the exchange crystals had become 3, which were located in 3 open spaces in the station. It seems that even the exchange crystals for low-level and intermediate-level war zones have been relocated and integrated soon. They followed the crowd to the crystal marked with Advanced Redemption, and clicked on the redemption interface. The contents inside remained the same as before. Lin You took a deep breath and directly consumed 1.5 billion mana and all his merits to exchange for 150 high-level faith orbs and 2 plant-type military secret treasures. Originally, with his current status of second-class military merit, he could redeem the source crystal, but for him at this stage, the power of faith is obviously more important than the origin. Moreover, the exchange price of the origin crystal is 5 times that of the orb of faith, and it requires 50 points of merit to redeem it, which is a bit too expensive. We can only wait until we have enough faith in the future. I've exchanged my things, and I'm going back to the territory. What are your plans next? After a while, Situ Jian also finished exchanging his things and asked, I also want to go back. Ji Yunshuang said softly. Same. Yan Lai followed closely. Each of their faces had a look of joy that couldn't be concealed. It seemed that this time they had gained a lot, and it would take some time to digest it. Lin You smiled slightly and said, in this case, let's come here today, and we will act together next time, when there is a big battle or something happens. Okay, then I'll leave first. See you. That's all. After saying goodbye to each other, a few people left in a hurry, all rushing towards the cross-border teleportation array in the center of the camp. Lin You walked around the new war camp to familiarize himself with the environment, and then teleported back across borders. Aha! The light turned on and he appeared in his own territory. After recovering from the weightless state, he immediately went to the world tree, and took out the faith orb he had just exchanged. Would you like to use Orb of Faith Advanced? Use them all. Lin You responded in a deep voice. The next second, all the orbs in his hand turned into a stream of light and merged into the world tree. At the same time, a huge amount of energy poured into his body, allowing his body's various functions to rapidly increase. So strong. Lin You gradually clenched his fists, feeling that his strength had nearly doubled compared to when he first advanced, almost reaching the level of Lord monsters of the same level. Even the reaction ability and perception have been greatly enhanced. Click on the Road of the Saint mission and take a look. Road to the Saint Territory mission. Break through the shackles to become a saint. Collect the following items to condense the fragments of the Godhead. Magic energy, 28.5 billion, 5 billion. Power of faith, 23 250ths, 000. 9th level territory essence, 248ths. Original space, 1/1. Rule fragments, 0/1. After this period of hard work, he now only has 20,000 fragments of faith and rules to condense the fragments of Godhead. The power of faith is not difficult for him. The only problem is this fragment of rules. He has already inquired about it. Rule fragments are something that can only be obtained by relying on one's own strength to independently kill the 10th level boss monster, and being recognized by the rules. That's right, that's the leader level. Taking the 10th level boss monster, which is the lowest level F, its average attribute is 60,000. Even if Ivy swallows the flesh and blood of 10,000 corpses and triggers the bloody frenzy effect, the attributes will only barely reach over 50,000, and the effect is not permanent. Lin You estimated that it would only take about 3 minutes, then it will slowly begin to fade until it returns to its original properties. If he cannot kill the 10th level monster within these 3 minutes, then the only thing he can do is escape, which means that all his preparations during this period will fall short. So there are 3 things he has to do now. The first is to collect the power of the source, and expand the scope of the source space to the full 9th level, so that the capacity will be much larger. The second is to continue collecting corpses to increase the upper limit of Ivy's explosion. The third thing is to improve the experience of the arms, and increase their basic attributes as much as possible. As long as he does these 3 things, he can go find the 10th level monster, and start to actually implement the plan. Thinking of this, Lin You closed the interface and took out the 2 secret treasure blind boxes of the plant-type troops that he had just redeemed. He had killed many lord monsters on the battlefield in the realm before, but he had never produced a secret treasure suitable for the dandelion unit, so I can only spend 20 points of merit to exchange for these 2 random secret treasures of the plant type. I hope I will be lucky enough to find a useful one. Would you like to use the military secret treasure? Plant type, use. As soon as the voice fell, the light ball in his hand burst into a dazzling light, and began to change rapidly. After a while, 2 freshly minted military secret treasures came into his eyes. Military secret treasure, all in one throw. Secret treasure type, skill, secret treasure level, SSS level. Effect of the secret treasure, make the troops acquire the skill, desperate throw. After casting, all attributes will be converted into physical constitution, which lasts for 10 seconds. During the duration, it cannot move or attack, and consumes all the power of nature. It can be used by plant-based troops. Military secret treasure, dual growth. Secret treasure type, special. Secret treasure level, SSS level. Secret treasure effect. When using skills, there is a 40% chance of being cast repeatedly. The bonus effects cannot be superimposed, and are available for plants. Looking at the secret treasures of the 2 arms in front of him, Lin You paused for a moment. But he didn't expect that the secret treasure he already had was revealed. But what surprised him the most was the second, double growth, secret treasure. When casting skills repeatedly, can Dandelion be cast twice in a row? If this is the case, then the spread ability of his Dandelion army will definitely be greatly improved. Moreover, it only says that the skill bonus effects do not stack, but it does not say that the quantities do not stack. In anticipation, Lin You immediately walked into the military base with the secret treasure, and placed it on the stage representing the Dandelion military unit. Then I asked Chaihin to try it a few times, and sure enough, he was able to release 2 dandelions at once, doubling the number. Nice one. Looking at the dandelions in the sky, Lin You was so surprised that he immediately asked Chaihin to destroy the dandelions. At this point, his main team has suitable secret treasure blessings, only a few small units are missing. I really got a big improvement after coming back from this trip. The experience of the weapon, Spirit Eating Flower Swallowing the Sky, has reached full value. Do you want to upgrade? Suddenly, a reminder interrupted his thoughts. Are you full of experience? Lin You hesitated for a moment, with a look of surprise on his face. Quickly click on Tuntian's property interface to view it. Name, Soul Eating Flower Swallowing the Sky, Royal Family, Race, Plant, Hero, Level 9, 10,000. Strength, 4,750, plus 4,750. Physique, 5,000, plus 5,000. Agility, 4,500, plus 4,500. Spirit, 4,850, plus 4,850. Skills, Guardian Barrier, Death Devouring, Deprivation, Corpse Explosion. King of Flowers, Piranha-like soldiers gain 10% blood-sucking power. Introduction, a terrifying plant that awakens the power of devouring, capable of devouring all things and depriving them of all energy. Really, the experience has been accumulated to 10,000. It seems that it is because of the recent frequent wars, and the devouring of many corpses that it can reach full experience so quickly. After gaining experience, Tuntian's attributes have also been greatly improved. Upgrade. Lin You did not hesitate, and tried to upgrade. Upgrade failed. Items required for upgrade are missing. 9th level territory essence X1000. Rule fragment X1. Rule fragments. Lin You became confused after hearing the prompt in his mind. He knew that 1000 territory essences were needed to advance from level 9 to level 10, but he didn't expect that he also needed rule fragments. No wonder even those old monster level lords don't have 10th level troops. The difficulty of this upgrade is simply ridiculous. Will there be any difference between the arms after level 10? A lot of questions emerged in Lin Yu's mind. It seems like I have to find a chance to ask. After thinking about it, I didn't waste any more time. The light lit up and disappeared, taking a cross-border teleportation to the war camp. Before setting off to explore the surrounding area, he even took a look at the kill list that had just been moved over. At this time, a large number of lords from all walks of life have gathered beside the list monument, looking at the lists of various levels, and bursts of exclamations can be heard from time to time. Lin You looked through the crowd and quickly saw the 9th level list. Battlefield kill list. Ranking name realm combat power kills. 1. Angus, Yuan Zunji, 40,024 359. Toe, hidden, beast god realm, 37,748 244. 3. Adam, holy light realm, 37,712 237. 4. Gong Sun Ru, the realm of nothingness, 37,699 235. 8. Lin You, primitive world, 29,001 222. So many kills to rank 8th. Lin You looked at the list with great surprise. He found that after this period of changes, the established lords from all walks of life began to exert their strength. Except for Angus, several people on the original list have been squeezed down and replaced with a new batch, and their combat power has reached more than 37,000. The 8th place's combat power is only 29,000, more than 200 kills. How did he do it? This is too perverted. I have only killed more than 20 people so far. Primitive world. It doesn't seem to be very famous. I've heard of this realm, and it can only be said that its strength is average. I didn't expect there to be such a pervert. Next to the stone tablet of the list, the lords were talking a lot, and their words were full of shock. No way. Lin Yu's information is too conspicuous on the list. Not only is he the only one in the top 10 who is not from one of the top 10 realms, but he also has a combat strength of less than 30,000, which is simply unbelievable. That's more than 200 9th level lords. Although there are strong and weak among the 9th level, not everyone can achieve more than 200 kills. What's more, it's still in such a short period of time. Therefore, they had no doubt about Lin Yu's strength and began to inquire about news about the primitive world. Fortunately, Lin Yu had anticipated this and hid his name in advance. Except for himself, others can only see the realm information and combat power rankings, which invisibly saves him a lot of trouble. After looking at the list for a while, he didn't stop any longer and rode the demonic ancestral dragon straight towards the outside of the war camp. According to what Emperor Xinyao said, for some reason, monsters in the Realm Alliance have advanced on a large scale. If his guess was correct, it should be similar to the changes in the monsters in their realm. In other words, the number of Lord monsters will increase. He could just take advantage of this period of war repair to explore outside and look for traces of the 10th level monsters. Let's go and have a look over there first. Lin You pointed at the vast grassland outside the battlefield camp. The reason why I chose that place is because the grassland has a wide view, and it is not easy to set up an ambush. In this way, when he encounters a strong person, he will at least have a chance to react. The moment his voice fell, the demonic ancestral dragon under him directly launched the swift shadow skill, turning into an afterimage and flying towards the depths of the grassland. Far away, already, many 6th and 7th level lords could be seen fighting with the monsters below, and bursts of loud shouting could be heard. Without stopping, he continued flying deeper. It wasn't until the 9th level monsters began to appear in sight and there was no trace of other lords that the demon ancestral dragon was allowed to slowly fall to the ground and move forward on foot. The landscape deep in the grassland is worse than that in the outer areas. Most of the knee-high weeds have turned yellow, and there are also skinny dwarf trees with almost all their leaves. It looks like a tropical savanna, and you don't need to think about it to know that there will be many beasts and monsters as expected. After just a few minutes of walking, there was a rustling sound coming from under the surrounding weeds. Pieces of weeds were crushed, revealing gray-white giant pythons swimming rapidly. The number was so huge that they surrounded him in an instant. Name: rock-armored horned python. Common. Race: beast. Level: level 9, S level. Strength: 4,254, plus 3,403. Physique: 4,288, plus 3,430. Agility: 4,000, plus 3,200. Spirit: 4,367, plus 3,494. Skills: Steel Armor, Petrified Gaze, Rock Thrust. Chaos: All attributes increased by 80%. Introduction. The giant python is wrapped in rocks. It has the ability to control rocks, and can petrify enemies. It is a very difficult monster. The petrifying gaze. Lin You looked surprised. He didn't expect that this rock-armored horned python actually had Medusa's signature skill. If they were hit, I'm afraid they would suffer a lot, especially since there were so many of them. There were at least 500 or 600 by visual inspection, just right for leveling up Qing Tang. Without hesitation, he immediately summoned the plant army. As soon as Ivi's huge body appeared, a large number of vines rushed out and headed straight for the rock-armored horned pythons. The ancient tree army led by Qing Gang was not slow either. They launched a brutal charge and crashed directly into the horned python. SSSS. But at this moment, the rock-armored horned pythons at the front suddenly stood up, and a dark halo burst out from their eyes. All the vines and ancient trees illuminated by the halo were instantly covered with a layer of rocks, and their forward momentum was stopped. Immediately afterwards, the rock-armored horned python behind opened its mouth and let out a roar, and a large number of rock cones quickly gathered in the sky, swishing towards them. Will they even cooperate? Lin You raised his eyebrows. This snake had really become a spirit. With a slight thought in his mind, the nut barrier troops in the team immediately appeared, came to the front of the team, and directly launched attacks to absorb skills. In an instant, an invisible wave enveloped the surroundings. The rock cones that were about to fall on the ancient tree soldiers immediately turned around and flew towards the nut barrier. Bang bang bang. After a series of violent impacts, the nut barrier remained unscathed, with rocks scattered across the ground. Well done, Lin You praised. Although the attack absorption of nut barrier is only 5 seconds, it can absorb all attacks within the range and reduce the damage received by 50%. Coupled with its own hardening skill, that increases physical fitness by 30%, it is definitely one of the arms with the highest defense burst. So the second desperate secret treasure he got today was the soldier given to him. The main body and the symbiotic moss activate the secret treasure effect at the same time, converting all attributes into physical constitution. The defense at that moment is absolutely terrifying. Lin You even felt that he would have no problem resisting a 10th level blow. Counting the multipliers, he now has a total of 20 nut barriers. If you use the skills in turn, you might be able to hold off the 10th level monster for a long time, giving him a chance to attack. That is to say, in addition to King Tang and other royal families, the nut troops are also his current main leveling targets. Moreover, the leveling method for purely defensive arms, like nuts, is different from that of combat arms. You can gain experience as long as you get beaten. It just so happens that we can use these 9th level monsters to gain more experience for them. Thinking of this, Lin You no longer held back, and directly let the ancient trees blast away the petrified state on their bodies with brute force, and collided with the rock-armored horned pythons. The vines of the ivy shattered the rocks very easily, spread out quickly, and entangled all the lone horned pythons. More than 400 9th level monsters were all eliminated in less than 10 minutes, and the killings were basically left to the royal family. Other plants don't even have much of a chance. Let's go. Keep going. After collecting all the corpses into the original space, Lin You led the team to go deeper and explore around the grassland. Gradually, he discovered that the number of monsters here was simply exaggerated. Basically every 10 or 20 minutes of walking, you will encounter a large group of monsters, including quite a few leader-level monsters. Until evening, there were no less than 100 leader monsters killed by him, and he even encountered 4 lord monsters, which greatly increased his origin space. Name, World Tree, Origin, Category, Plants, Level 9, 7022,600. Range, 7,000 meters. Sacred Object Effect. All attributes plus 41%, shield plus 21%, talent effect, physical fitness plus 14%, recovery speed plus 14%, ability, soul domain, racial talent, halo, summoning space, storage. Introduction. It is formed by the condensation of souls. When it grows to a certain extent, it can evolve into a world and needs the power of the source to irrigate it. Note. Click here to expand the talents of each department. With only 7 kilometers of origin space, the attribute improving effect of the holy object has increased by 11% from the initial 30%, and the racial talent has also been greatly improved. One can imagine, those old monsters have been around for so many years, how exaggerated will this effect be? No wonder each of them has such high combat power. I am afraid that the original space has reached more than 50,000 meters, or even higher. As for his upper limit of more than 20,000 meters, it is because of the gift of Mother Nature that he only has so much after doubling it, coupled with the fact that during this period of time, I killed the Lord monsters on the battlefield and obtained the source crystals. It increased to nearly 23,000. Otherwise, The newly upgraded 9th level Lord will usually only have the upper limit of 10,000 meters. At this rate, it should be full within a few days. Lin You thought silently. There were so many high-level monsters in this demon-suppressing world, which he had never expected. If he guessed correctly, it should be related to the terrifying existence that escaped from the seal. Because of the appearance of that existence, the monsters in the entire Realm Alliance underwent large-scale changes, which were several times more exaggerated than those in the realm of their anti-alliance camp. If things go on like this, the Realm Alliance will definitely overtake them in terms of resources and cultivate more high-level lords. This is not a good sign. It is estimated that the emperors also felt this, so they were so eager to launch an attack, wanting to strangle them in the cradle. I just hope there won't be any accidents. Looking up at the darkening sky, Lin You did not go any further. He recalled his troops, mounted the demonic ancestor dragon, and rushed back towards the war camp. Come, take a look. There are all the freshly baked treasures. Does anyone need to exchange merit? Come if you need it. Competition and competition. 100,000 mana in one plate, below the 8th level. It's time to place your bets. It's a one-on-one battle among the troops. Buy whichever one you like. As soon as they crossed the grassland and landed in the camp, there were shouts in their ears. What surprised Lin You was extremely surprising. At this time, the war camp was actually brightly lit, and a large number of lords and practitioners from all walks of life gathered. People set up stalls, competed with each other, and some even circled an open space on which to hold military competitions. A large group of people gathered around and shouted loudly to cheer for the troops inside who were fighting fiercely. Looking around, the whole camp was in full swing, even more lively than the Chinese New Year. Unexpectedly, because of this war, the lords from all walks of life would have a rare chance to live in peace. Lin You walked around various places with great interest, and was finally attracted to a stall in the corner marked for sale of merits. Lin You was very confused. He remembered that battlefield merits should not be traded. Why were there still stalls selling merits? And there's more than one. Out of curiosity, he walked over and took a look, only to realize that he could exchange the items specified by the stall owners, and exchange them for other items. Isn't this just a monetization method? Lin You suddenly realized. The only pity is that those who sell meritorious deeds are basically lords below the 8th level. Even if you can exchange for orbs of faith, you can only exchange them for low-level and mid-level ones, and the added faith is pitifully little. Considering that he had a lot of treasures obtained from killing the lord monsters, Lin You finally came to one of the stalls. Brother, what do you need? The stall was opened by 3 7th level lords. When they saw Lin You appearing, they were startled and ran over to greet him. Can I exchange it for the orb of faith? Lin You asked succinctly. Yes, of course I can. The three people's eyes lit up instantly. The resources and treasures of 9th level lords are definitely beyond their imagination. When he heard that Lin You wanted to exchange for the orb of faith, he suddenly became excited and asked quickly, Brother, how many do you want to exchange for? We can exchange for 50 low-level orbs in total. 50. Lin You looked surprised. 50 low-level orbs are equivalent to 5,000 points of faith, which is already a considerable amount for a 7th level lord. After all, only so much faith is needed to advance from 7th level to 8th level. It seems that these three people are not weak among the 7th level lords. He didn't bother to ask why the other party didn't stay and upgrade himself, but asked directly, what do you want to change? Holy objects, secret treasures, props, and military tokens are all fine, as long as they are something we can use. One of the beast-type lords said hurriedly. Lin You glanced at them. The three of them were beast, machine, and plant lords, which were relatively common. Okay, please wait a moment. With that said, Lin You opened his personal space and rummaged around inside. Recently, because he has killed many lord monsters, his personal space has been filled with all kinds of treasures, basically of all levels. In just a moment, treasures appeared in his hand one after another, and they had 3 types of treasures, which made the three of them look shocked and excited at the same time. Okay, that's it. In the end, Lin You took out a total of 14 items and listed them in front of them. There were all kinds of sacred objects, secret treasures and props. As for the troop tokens, because they were all 9th level, they couldn't use them, so they didn't take them out. Brother, do you really have to pay for this? Well, according to the market price, one item can be exchanged for 1,000 faith, so you can pick 5 items, 5 pieces. The three of them were shocked, and couldn't help but swallow their saliva. The attributes of these treasures are almost all top-notch, even the lowest ones are S level. Where have they seen so many treasures? I was immediately excited to choose. After a while, I finally selected 5 of them, then I said something to Lin You. put away the stall and hurried back to the boundary station. It took about 10 minutes before he returned with the 50 low-level faith orbs he had just exchanged to trade with Lin You. Okay, happy cooperation. After some operations, Lin You got the orb and smiled slightly. The three of them were also very happy, and they all got what they wanted. Although they can directly exchange these meritorious deeds for treasures, they are all random. If you are not lucky, it is easy to draw something that will not improve you much. Therefore, in comparison, it is most cost-effective to directly switch to something with specific attributes that can be seen. Lin You didn't say anything more, nodded, and continued to wander around other stalls. But it's a pity. After shopping around, I didn't come across any stall where I could redeem a large amount of orbs of faith. Basically, he can only replace 1 or 2, which doesn't help him much. Seeing that it was getting dark, he did not stay in the camp and teleported back to the territory through the cross-border teleportation array in the center of the camp. The following few days, Lin You spent all his time out hunting monsters. Thanks to the changes in the monsters and the demon-conquering world, he finally expanded his original space to 15 kilometers on the 6th day, and his bonus attributes have also been greatly improved. Name, World Tree, Origin, Category, Plants, Level 9, 15,000 22,600, Range, 15,000 meters, Sacred Object Effect, all attributes plus 44%, Shield plus 22%, Talent Effect, Physical Fitness plus 20%, Recovery Speed plus 20%, Ability, Soul Domain, Racial Talent, Halo, Summoning Space, Storage. Introduction. It is formed by the condensation of souls. When it grows to a certain extent, it can evolve into a world and needs the power of the source to irrigate it. Note, click here to expand the talents of each department. In 7 days, it increased by 8 kilometers. This speed is absolutely terrifying for ordinary lords, but for Lin You, it was still too slow. In order to maximize the certainty of killing the 10th level monster, he must expand the original space to the full value as much as possible. After all, the strength of the 10th level monster is very terrifying, and if you are not careful, you may die on the spot. He didn't dare to take action easily without being fully prepared. He didn't want all this long preparation to go to waste. It seems we need to think of something else. In the past few days, the movements between the two camps have become more and more frequent, and the Lords of the Realm Alliance often come to harass them. There will even be large-scale battles in the wild from time to time. It feels like there will be another war soon. If he continues like this, he may not have enough time to collect the original power. If you happen to encounter a suitable 10th level monster, wouldn't you miss the opportunity in vain? Just thinking about it, the private chat message suddenly popped up, and Yanlai sent him a message. Lin You, come to the gravel lake in the central region. Many leader level and lord level monsters suddenly appeared here. People from the Realm Alliance are also here. Is there a group of boss monsters appearing? Lin You was shocked. Judging from the anxious tone, the number was probably not low. If there were enough of them, it might be possible for him to fill up the original space in a short time. He had heard of Gravel Lake before. It is located next to a bush at the intersection of the two armies. It is at least several kilometers wide, surrounded by a piece of broken rock, and inhabited by many underwater monsters. It is also one of the areas where fighting between the two sides has occurred frequently in the past few days. I didn't expect that there would be a large number of bosses, lords and monsters there. Isn't this just a pillow for sleepy people? Not talking nonsense. He immediately mounted the demonic ancestral dragon, and flew into the air, rushing towards the central area. Along the way, he met many lords who were rushing there like him. Apparently, everyone had also received the news and was preparing to go over and grab some resources, which made Lin You increase his speed to the extreme. Half an hour later, a vast blue lake finally came into view. A large number of lords gathered around the lake, fighting fiercely with the monsters emerging from the lake, and there were bursts of killing cries and roars. At the other end of the lake, many lords from the Realm Alliance were also gathered. The teams from both sides faced each other across the lake, and fought with each other. Quick, another group of leader monsters are rushing out over there. Don't let the people from the Realm Alliance snatch it away. Lord Monster, there is a Lord Monster here. The damn Realm Alliance dares to steal our territory, and kill them. We can't hold it anymore. Please come to support. The lords kept shouting in surprise. Almost all around the lake, especially where the two camps intersect, they collide fiercely, both competing for the only territory they have. Lin You looked around and finally found Yanlai and Situ Jian, who were resisting the attack of monsters, in a corner with their backs to the woods. I am coming. With a shout, the demon ancestor dragon landed directly, and was behind the two of them in a blink of an eye. You're finally here. I've been waiting for you. For a long time, Yan Lai looked back at him and continued to fight with the monsters. In front of him, a large number of aquatic monsters such as crocodiles, water snakes, and poisonous frogs rushed out of the lake and launched a fierce attack on them. Lin You took a closer look and found that many of those monsters were indeed leader level, and even lord monsters would appear from time to time. As soon as they appeared, they were immediately attacked by a large number of lords nearby, and only a small number of them flowed to their side. There are too many people. We can only occupy this small corner, Situ Jian whispered from the side. It's okay, the place is small. We can make it bigger. With the accumulation of resources in the past few days, Lin Yu's strength has improved a lot, so naturally he will not be satisfied with such a small place. With one move of his hand, he summoned the entire huge army of plants. Then, under the leadership of Qin Gang, it turned into a torrent and spread rapidly in all directions, forcing the troops of other lords nearby to retreat. What happened? Why did so many plant soldiers suddenly appear? Want to steal our territory? No way. Block them for me. Several lords who were directing the battle immediately noticed the changes on the field and ordered their troops to block Lin Yu's plant army. But the next second, King Gong, who was at the front, knocked their troops back with a brutal collision. Gravity field, Lin Yu shouted, and Qin Gang directly activated the gravity field skill. The entire 100-meter range was shrouded in gravity. The originally menacing troops suddenly became unable to move, and were all blocked. What a strong unit. Is this really the 9th level of arms? Those lords were shocked, staring wide-eyed at the King Gong surrounded by gravity, and the body that was far larger than the average ancient tree soldier. But how could they know? At this time, Qin Gang's basic strength and physique had already reached the full value of the 9th level, 5,000 points. Coupled with the copy attribute of symbiotic moss, it doubles to 10,000. The same as the SSS level Lord Monster. As for their arms, with the blessing of various equipment, their basic attributes are only 7 or 8,000, which is not a big gap with the royal family. In just a blink of an eye, the entire army within 100 meters was pushed back by the ancient tree army, leaving the space free for other plants to enter. Then Lin Yu had a thought in his mind, and the ivy vines and dark blue thorns spread out, forming a terrifying forest in the middle, and finally completely occupied this area, making the lords even more frightened, and retreated one after another, their eyes full of horror.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.